So thank you for joining us in. What can you tell us about organizing such a big event here at Con?
It's organized between a lot of different groups. We call it the Mars-Ace collaboration. So obviously the Gender Museum is the core organization that's putting this program together, but really all the different things you see in the program are organized by a lot of different feminist activist groups from all different places in Aarhus. So it's kind of a collaboration actually. And then I'm the person, I guess, who has to hold on to all the strings and get all the different inputs to match up and see to that everyone who wants to join are in the program.
Til aktivistparaden, vi skal høre fra alle de her seje og sjælske aktivistgrupper, der står heroppe. Det her arrangement det bliver en blanding mellem engelsk og dansk. Nogen taler på dansk, og nogen taler på engelsk. Og derfor kommer jeg også lige til at gentage det her med engelsk igen lige om lidt. Så det må I lige bære over med. Mange af jer kan sikkert begge sprog. So in English, welcome to the Activist Parade. You're going to hear from all the groups up here that are local activist groups in Aarhus. I'm sure all also looking for volunteers. This event is going to be a mix between Danish and English. So some of the speakers are speaking Danish and some are speaking English. And hopefully most of you understand both languages, but otherwise maybe you get 5 minutes of relaxing from time to time. And our first speaker is ready.
Yes, thank you. Hello everybody. So my name is Katarzyna and I came from Poland. I live in Denmark right now more than 5 years, almost 6 years. And in 2018 I felt that I needed to bring a response to the crisis which is happening right now in Poland. Some of you might heard about this tragedy which is actually happening right now in Poland. Lately, the abortion law has been even more strict than it. Sorry, it's very difficult for me to speak about this. I also became a mother lately, and also this is my personal war, and I was speaking about the abortion law. It's no longer possible to get an abortion in Poland for a woman whose health and life is threatening. And it was from right now, it's like since 2018 there was a lot of protests, and most of the Polish society, it's against this law, but some of the very influential groups in Poland have decided to implement it, despite the fact that society said no, society protested against it. And I wanted to mention 2 women who have been victims, who have died, who died, and whose children also died. One of them, her name was Agnieszka from Częstochowa. She was pregnant with twins, and she tried to obtain an abortion in few different hospitals. All the doctors said no to her. And she already had 3 children, and first her small little twin died, then another, and after a couple of days she died out of sepsis. So I respect and understand religious feelings, but I strongly believe that we need to stop this. We need to do something about it. We need to raise our voices. We need to protect these women who are enslaved by this law. And standing here in front of you, I would like to say thank you to the Danish government who who's responded in a very positive way to crisis which had happened in Poland, and gave a fund of 2 million Danish crowns for Polish women to perform an abortion. And so I would like to thank you. I would like to take this occasion and thank the Danish government for helping and protecting the life of the Polish women. So yeah, please come to the demonstration, and please help us to change this law, because what is happening right now, it's very damaging. It's destroying the life. It's destroying not only life. Like, it's not only killing women, but it's also destroying the life of the families. Yeah, I'm really shaking right now. So yeah, my main message would be, please help us. Thank you.
And do you have like a structure defined already, or do you brainstorm with the groups that are joining that year to see what other activities you can do?
We have kind of a structure. We always have the big demonstration, the Equality March. That's every year, and we try to make it so that there are no other things planned at that time, so that all the different people from the different venues and groups and activities, they can gather for the Equality March. So that's one thing that's pretty much the same every year. And then there are some program parts that the Gender Museum organize, some talks that are also usually quite similar, and then we have the morning and for small workshops and banner sign painting. So that's kind of a structure for the program that has been most of the years, but eventually it's about what the different groups want to put into it. So the idea of doing this collaborative program is to have the Gender Museum as a platform on March 8th for all the different feminist activists in Aarhus, so they can have this as a place that they can use, and there are some resources and a lot of visibility also because it's the Gender Museum, and they can kind of come and put their own agenda and their own plans and their own activities into it.
Ja, jeg hedder Anne, og jeg kommer fra Ikke En Mere, og vi plejer mest at lave ting på dansk, men I was thinking if someone here only speaks English, I will try to do it in English. Would people prefer that? Anyone? Oh, okay, I'm not sure. Maybe I will try it in English anyway if it's nicer for some of you. But our little network, we can maybe call it, it's not a proper organization. In Danish it's called Ikke En Mere. In English it would be maybe not one more, and we're actually sort of slightly old, like I don't know if it's 5 or 7 years, but it was before Me Too and before we talked so much about gendered violence in Denmark, and we got inspired from some of the big movements in Latin America, and also I met some really cool Italian feminists who has nr.19, which is like, if you loosely translate it, it would be something like not one more or not one more without us, or something like that, because they had very, very big problems with femicide. And maybe that's something that in Denmark we are not really have been talking about, that we actually also have a problem with femicide in Denmark, that maybe I think it's 1 or 2 women a month that get killed because of their gender in Denmark. So that is what we are trying to put a focus on, and we've been trying to make it like a mark day, like 8th of March, that the 25th of November, the International Day Against Gendered Violence, that should also be something that we mark in Denmark, and we should talk about how much it is a problem that women get killed by partners or ex-partners or just walking home. That it should be safe for women and gender minorities and queers to walk in the street at night, and it should not be something to be feared, and we should also not fear dating or letting someone into our house or our lives. Yeah, so it was very much a network that came out of anger
and out of fear, and to try to use this anger to make something happen, to put this topic on the, what can you say, agenda. And I think we have been doing some quite nice things in November, many years trying to work together with some of the other nice activist groups in Denmark that are already here in Aarhus doing stuff. And we're not the only ones who want to combat gender violence, but it's not just that kind of violence. We also think it's violence if you don't have the right to your own body and safe abortion if it's here or anywhere else. So that is also something we have a focus on, and very much how this link between femicide and everyday sexism and gender violence, how it's all linked together, how we cannot stop the killing of women and gender minorities without battling everyday sexism too. So we have also been working together with Everyday Sexism Project. But now it's very much back on the agenda that we have an issue with women getting killed because of their gender in Denmark. After Mia in Aalborg got killed, we did this, what can we say, memorabilia event, like to gather and to remember her and to say we will not stay silent, we will be on the street and say not one more that doesn't get home safe, not one more woman who gets killed because of her gender. And this is very much the whole core of our network, and we would love to do more activities, and we would love to have more people join. And I think that's why I switched to English, because it doesn't matter if you speak English or Danish, it would be really lovely to have more people join and raise awareness around this topic. And we're actually having a meeting next Monday at 5 at Mellemfolkeligt Samvirke, and we have a Facebook page where we will put up the event, so if anyone is interested, you can come and join. But I think it's really cool to use March 8 to also put a focus on this topic, and I hope that the 5th of November will be as much of a mark day that people will remember and people will use to say we have a lot to fight for, and we should fight for it not only this one day, March 8 and the 25th of November, but all year, and every time something happens, every time a woman gets killed, we should make sure that they are remembered and we do something to stop it. So, thank you.
Hello everyone. Can you hear me well? Yes. Thank you first of all for coming here today. And also to be together in a day like today is very meaningful and we needed to do it. So my name is Beatriz González. I come from Spain, but I actually arrived in Denmark in 2016, already quite long. But in 2018, I found an organization called Useful Art for Communities. And I want to start this presentation with a video so you can also understand a little bit about my practices as an artist, but also what the organization does. So stay with me and I hope so you enjoy. Well, I don't know if you noticed, but this video is quite old. It's like in 2020 when the monument was about to be released. If you would like to see the result of that process, I will recommend to go to Folkestone and see how does it look. The monument is a public artwork, so everyone is allowed to see it, to visit in any moment of the day. My reason to start this presentation with this video is because thanks to this project is how everything started. And UAC started to become like a little small platform for social art practices. So, what is UAC? UAC is an art platform that works through a holistic approach on the co-creation, rediscovery, and support of social art that aims to make visible the voices of minorities, communities in Aarhus. We are a group of activists, artists with different backgrounds that want to advocate for social justices. It's very important to understand for us what is the problem that we want to solve in the city of Aarhus. We are working very much locally and we are focused, and we know there is a lack of tools and knowledge about the management of cultural and artistic projects with a focus on social art, as well as a scarcity of public policy for the recognition of social awareness of minority communities in Aarhus. That means like we don't want to only do an artworks for the sake of the aesthetics of making art, but we also want to influence the policies. So that's our main goal with the art that we do. We want to do artworks, but we want to influence the policies to create a social change. Knowing what is the problem that we want to solve, then we know what we want to do. We want to develop this knowledge and tool to develop in social art and cultural projects and spread the knowledge among all of us and be able to practice it. As well, we want to promote and recognize, create awareness about these minorities that they deserve to live with better conditions. Our main purpose then is to create a space for co-creation. Participation is very important key in our work. So by creating this space of co-creation, support and link it between social art and the minorities in order to connect and question social problems from horizontal way and holistic perspectives. So here I want to focus on the areas of action we have in our organization to you understand how we actually do the work we do. We have divided like in two sections or structures. In the organization we have an area called Højskole. A lot of you might be related with here in Denmark. And the other one is called the lab. The Højskole, both are very practical and very like learn by doing, because that's kind of the essence we are. But the Højskole is more focused on the space for the development of that knowledge. What is social art? How social art can impact our lives and our societies and the way that we live. And that we have like two running programs called Artivism Training and Social Art Development. Then in the other side we have the lab, which is more like a meeting place to seek for the experimentation between social art, activism and other disciplines that focus on the co-creation and new knowledge, such as participatory public art. And then, sorry, I forgot to say that in this section, lab, area. We have two currently programs called Co-Creation Program and Enlightenment. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit more deep to explain what it means to be in our high school, but also what it means activist training. Activist training is basically when we organize courses, workshops, and master classes focusing on the necessities of the artists and activists who want to develop a social art project. We also seek for creating and develop a digital platform. In the other side, social art development is more like focus on coordinate activities aiming to develop this specific project, such as internships, mentorships, and art residencies. We're going into the lab. The lab, as I explained before, we have a co-creation program running, and the co-creation program is about to create public artworks like the one that you saw in the beginning, where we work with communities and we work with different mediums of art, from film, from clay as you saw, performance, podcast, storytelling, everything is included. What is important is that we use the art to transmit the message that is important for the community in this case. And then we have enlightenment. Enlightenment we think is very important because it makes us knowledgeable and more knowledgeable on how to do the work that we want to do it. So we are developing an area called enlightenment that is focused on develop and research, promote current and past social artistic practices through publication, articles, news, and blogs. So we can all know and get familiar with the sense of social art. All right, and arriving to the end, I want to make a focus on our audience. What is the audience that we've been working with? And in this case, we have two different groups. We have the social artists. I want to say that for us, the social artists are not only the artists that are educated in art schools, but we consider that social artists are the ones who are educators, students, journalists, multidisciplinary arts, of course. But as well like leaders of our community who they are open-minded and they are empathic people who want to create change. That for us is coming into the role of social artists in this place. Then on the other side we have the communities that we've been working with and we are going to work with in the future. Mostly migrants, refugees is part, especially because that's one of the things that most touch my heart, since I am an expert here. But also we've been working with environmental communities, communities related with feminism, and also communities related with mental health and more segregated communities in the suburbs of Aarhus. And now I arrived to nearly the end, and I want to say, join us, because I believe like I will never able to do what I'm doing here by myself. And I think I was very lucky, and I'm very lucky, and I want to say how grateful I am to have the people around I have, the community of, for example, where we are in Institute for X, supporting and make me feel like a family. So I think it's very important to support each other in the way that we can do it. So come and join us, support us by being you and giving the best you can do. And the way that you can contact us is writing an email to us or visit our platform. And if that looks a little bit boring, you can come and visit our little headquarters in Institute for X. Thank you, and power to the people.
Thank you so much for joining us, in. So, why did you come here today?
I came to celebrate the International Fighting Day for Women.
And did you check the program? Was it something that caught your attention? Was it something that you wanted to see
I
specifically?
knew that there would be something going on all day long, so I just went down.
Do you do something special on the 8th of March to celebrate?
Yes.
Okay. Besides coming here?
I think it's an important day.
And you also mentioned that you usually come here every year. And how do you feel about this date? You said that you think it's important. Why did you think that it's important for you as a woman?
Because men and women are not equal, as it is, and they ought to be.
Did you ever feel that, personally?
Yes.
Can you give us some examples?
I've studied at the university, and it's many years ago, so I think things are better now. But I often felt that women were looked down upon, and what men said mattered more.
And did you feel like you had to compensate somehow, like to work harder because you were a woman when you were in university?
Perhaps.
Okay, so it's nothing like very specific.
It was irritating when I felt that men were looked more positively upon than women.
And did you try to do something about it, or did you just accept it?
I didn't accept it, but I couldn't do very much about it.
Okay.
I remember a lecture when I thought I had a bright idea and put my finger up and said what I wanted to say, and it was just swept away. A few minutes later, a male student said exactly the same, and oh, that was interesting. And I felt, oh, that's what it is like here.
You feel discriminated based on your gender. Yeah.
But it's many years ago. I'm
of
quite
course.
sure it's better now.
Yeah, but still, it's a bit something small, let's say, but it's something that most people take it for granted.
Yeah.
Nowadays, to like the right to be heard.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've never forgotten it. I really feel struck.
Yeah. Did you? So if this would have happened today, the situation that you described with in the lecture, would you have done something different? Would you have stand up again?
I would have protested. But at that time I didn't.
And about Men's Day, do you have any thoughts on Men's Day? There is Women's Day, there is Men's Day in November. Did you know that there's a day specifically to celebrate men?
No.
Do you feel like it's needed?
Feel like?
It's needed.
Oh yes. Everything is, when it comes to discrimination, everything is needed.